And this brings up a question for me because I've been hearing a lot, I was on Dave's show. I have a lot of biohackers that have come to me and said, I have some condition, so-and-so, I've been using this and the peptides and everything else. And I go, you're using everything. You don't know what's even working anymore. You're just throwing everything at it. And you're going in this like revolving circle of I got better, I got worse, I got better. Then I'm trying this. And it just seems sometimes like, I feel like maybe people need to take a step back from the magnitude of biohacking and just start with fundamentals, right? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this because as someone who's a true biohacker, really involved in it, do you ever like have to stop someone and say, you should cut back a little bit? Like you should not be taking the 50 supplements, wearing like 5 different Oura rings on, strapped up, like you're part cyborg almost. And like it's wonderful and you're tracking everything, but you're not getting results.
Yeah. Happens a lot. I mean, it's the pot calling the kettle black for me because I do all the extras because I'm a biohacking coach. So I will try lots of things, but I also I titrate's the wrong word, but I'll use it anyway. I sort of titrate when I'm wearing what and what I'm doing with supplements. And I take things out to see if things are working. If I'm adding something new, it's one thing. Right now I'm on a protocol that's like a 12-week fitness protocol. And I've taken out all of their strength training except this one machine. And that leads me to say this one thing, which I think is a very important thing that gets overlooked a lot in the biohacking space. And that is like, how do we take care of our muscle building and cardiovascular capacity when it comes to fitness and training, exercise? A lot of times it's like, I'm doing this and I'm on the red light bed and I'm hacking all the things, but then like, I don't know how to back squat a barbell. Doesn't have to specifically be back squatting a barbell, right? Kettlebells, whatever heavy is, but we're not lifting enough heavy shit. And we're not pushing our edges from a stress adaptation point when it comes to like getting a little sweat on and training. And that is, I think, imperative. I think it can be done effectively and efficiently. You don't need to be 2 hours a day in the gym. Especially women come to me and say, I don't want to get big. It's like, you'd have to work out like 90 minutes, 2 hours a day. Your eating would have to be like perfectly on point if you want to get huge or be on a stage, but we need to figure out how to work out and exercise better and more efficiently. And one of the things I speak about specifically to women is that there is a specific segment of our cycle that we can build more muscle during these like 8 to 10 day window. And a little different for every woman, depending on the length of your cycle. But we need to be able to capitalize on the anti-catabolic, non-muscle deteriorating nature of estrogen and use the heck out of it to be able to build muscle, because muscle helps us live longer, better, helps us step up the curb safely, helps us burn calories at rest. And that's a key imperative. And part of this protocol that I'm working on now is I'm working with an ARX. Do you know this machine?
Sure. Adaptive
resistance exercise.
Yeah.
I'm doing a 12-week protocol twice a week. And I do all of the super hard max effort, eccentric and concentric work. So pushes and pulls, basically positives and negatives, whatever we want to call it. On the 10 days of my cycle, I'm in it to win it and I'm like going hard. And then around the cycle, I'm doing 1 day of that hard work and 1 day that's positives only. Still a challenging workout, but you're talking about one of the workouts just under half an hour. The other one's about 15 minutes. It's like, and that's the only strength training I'm doing. And then I have a couple ice baths a week and 1 day of cardio. That's all I'm allowing myself. And that's the protocol, like no cheating the game, right? My food is already on point. I have, specific things I'm doing. And I even decided like one event a month, I'm going to go out and drink, because if I'm going to talk to women dealing with like muscle deterioration or sarcopenia, all of that, I have to be the normal woman. So even though I don't drink a lot anymore, last night I was like, okay, I'm gonna have 2 cocktails. This is amazing, So being able to sort of put these tools to the test is part of what I do in the world. And then getting them into people's hands, if I believe in them, is another thing. And your question is very well suited. Like, yes, people are doing too many things. Like there's a baseline of sleep. There's a baseline of, let's call it movement. We can call it fitness or what have you. It's not just steps, but there's a baseline of general mobility, a baseline of pushing heavy things, pushing, pulling, squatting heavy things. Right. And really just, understanding what whole foods feel like. And if we're getting that right, maybe we start some supplements. I don't know all of your stance on supplements, but I categorize supplementation in 3 categories. The must-haves, what you need generally according to the global population and studies, and your lab work. The nice-to-haves, which is like, here's some extras that could actually support some issues going on in my system. And then the last 10%, it's like nasal NAD, you don't need to take it if you don't have enough vitamin D. Like, let's get the baseline done well first, right? And so a lot of people want to do the fancy, sexy shit. A lot of people in the beginning, it was like, Ben Greenfield's putting red light on his testicles. This is awesome. And women are like, I don't want to be a biohacker. I'm not doing that. It's all edgy. And made us feel like there was a lot of risk. I think that's why there were less women in the beginning,
Yeah. And I think that maxim of like applying a lot of things can work for people that have already gone through the fundamentals and started to learn about themselves. I think a lot of people rush into the space in a place where they're not yet even doing the fundamentals and just applying a lot and not seeing the right results. Yeah. It's like you go to the gym. If you're completely out of shape for many years and you just start doing the really complex isometric ones, it's like, dude, just do push-ups first, do some squats. Stop hurting yourself with these weird ones that like Mr. Olympia doesn't even do.
Yeah.
But when you build up, you could add on, and then you do get a good understanding of yourself and how you react to it. So it's not that I'm against the application of many things. Listen, I work in medicine, and our whole approach is we want a very comprehensive suite of different therapeutic solutions to help. The more is better sometimes, but we want to use the smallest amount on each person and get the maximal results.
Yeah.
So there is that sort of maximum of everything. Yes, have a big toolkit, but don't use all the tools every single day, right? Or at once. That's a little bit wild. Your body can't handle it.